Pooja lived in a narrow street behind the old railway market where the houses leaned close together like tired neighbors. Every morning she woke before sunrise because the noise of trains shook the thin walls of her room. She shared that small room with memories and silence after her mother passed away. Her father had left years earlier and never returned. Since then Pooja learned to survive on her own strength and patience. She was 16 years old and carried responsibility heavier than her age. She washed dishes in nearby homes and cleaned small shops to earn a little money. Some days she earned enough to eat twice and some days only once. Still she never complained because she believed life listened carefully to words spoken aloud. Her mother once told her that pain grows when given voice. The only thing Pooja owned that felt truly hers was a small wooden music box. The box was old and scratched with faded blue paint peeling from its edges. Inside it held a tiny dancer and a metal key that turned with effort. When opened it played a soft melody that sounded warm and gentle. That music reminded Pooja of nights when her mother sat beside her and smiled despite illness. Her mother used to say the music box was special and should only be opened when the heart felt heavy. Pooja followed that rule carefully. She kept the box wrapped in cloth and hidden in her bag. Even when hunger pressed hard she did not think of selling it. The box felt like the last thread connecting her to love and safety. One morning the landlord came again, and his voice carried no kindness. He warned her that the room rent was overdue and patience was ending. Pooja stood quietly and nodded because she had no answer ready. After he left she sat on the floor and stared at the wall for a long time. The silence felt louder than shouting. That day Pooja walked to the market earlier than usual. She sat near the main gate where people passed in clean clothes and quick steps. She watched them with calm eyes that had learned not to hope too much. Her hands rested on her bag where the music box lay hidden. Her heart beat fast as thoughts fought inside her mind. Across the road stood a tall glass building that reflected the sky. Expensive cars stopped there often, and guards stood near the entrance. Inside that building worked Rohan, who was known across the city. People said he was a billionaire who started with nothing and built everything himself. His name appeared in newspapers and business talks. Yet very few knew anything about his personal life. Rohan lived alone at the top of a quiet tower. His days were filled with meetings, numbers, and decisions. His nights were silent and empty of warmth. Success had surrounded him, but comfort stayed far away. He avoided looking back at the past because memories slowed him down. That morning Rohan left his office earlier than usual. Traffic slowed near the market and his car stopped close to where Pooja sat. He looked outside with mild interest and noticed the crowd. His eyes then fell on Pooja standing slowly with careful steps. She held out a wrapped object and spoke with a soft voice that almost got lost in noise. She asked if he would like to buy a music box. Her voice shook but her eyes stayed steady. Rohan expected nothing valuable and thought it might be a cheap item. He agreed without thinking much because the price was small for him. He handed her the money and took the wrapped box. Pooja felt relief rush through her body like air after drowning. At the same time something broke inside her chest. She wanted to take the box back but knew she could not. She watched the car leave until it disappeared into traffic. Then she sat down slowly and pressed her lips together to stop tears. With the money she paid part of the rent and bought food for the day. People around her saw only a poor girl selling an old item. No one saw the sacrifice hidden inside that moment. That night Pooja lay on her mat and stared at the ceiling. Her room felt emptier than before. Rohan reached his home late in the evening. His apartment was clean and quiet with lights glowing softly. The city looked small through the glass walls. He placed the music box on a table without much thought. Hours later silence pushed him to notice it again. He picked up the box and felt its weight in his hand. The wood felt familiar in a way he could not explain. He slowly opened it and turned the small key. The melody began softly and filled the room. Rohan froze where he stood. His breath stopped and his heart tightened. The tune moved through him like a forgotten language. His mind flashed with images of a small village house and a woman humming the same melody. His mother sat near a window smiling at a young boy. His hands trembled as memories rushed back without control. He felt tears gather in his eyes before he could stop them. He sank into a chair as the music continued. Years of buried pain rose to the surface all at once. The music box kept playing while Rohan covered his face. He cried not for loss alone but for time that never returned. The room that once felt empty now felt heavy with emotion. In that moment he realized the box was not ordinary. When the music stopped, the silence felt deeper than before. Rohan sat still for a long time staring at the box. He knew his life had shifted in a way he did not yet understand. Somewhere in the city, a poor girl slept without knowing she had awakened a past that refused to stay silent. Rohan remained seated long after the melody stopped and the room returned to silence. His eyes stayed fixed on the music box as if it might speak again. The tune had opened a door he had locked for many years. He felt weak in a way success had never allowed him to feel. He stood slowly and walked toward the window overlooking the city. Lights moved like distant stars below him. For the first time those lights felt cold and meaningless. His wealth surrounded him but could not protect him from memory. Rohan remembered his childhood clearly now. He had grown up in a small town where mornings smelled of soil and evenings carried songs. His mother owned a music box that played the same tune. She used to open it when he felt afraid or sad. She told him music could hold broken hearts together. After her passing, the music box disappeared. Some said it was lost during the hard days that followed. Others said it was taken away with her belongings. Rohan never found it again and learned to live without closure. He buried himself in work and ambition and never spoke of it. That night sleep did not come easily. Rohan lay awake replaying the melody in his mind. His thoughts returned again and again to the girl at the market. He remembered her calm eyes and quiet voice. He wondered how such a box reached her hands. At sunrise Rohan made a decision. He asked his driver to take him back to the market. The city was waking up as shops opened and voices filled the air. The road felt different now, as if he was moving toward something unfinished. Pooja arrived at the market early as usual. She sat near the gate with her bag resting beside her. Without the music box the bag felt lighter, but her heart felt heavier. She tried to focus on the small tasks ahead of her day. She noticed a familiar car slowing near the road. When it stopped, her breath caught. Rohan stepped out and looked around until his eyes met hers. She stood up quickly, unsure of what he wanted. Fear and curiosity mixed inside her chest. Rohan walked toward her without guards or distance. He spoke gently and asked about the music box. Pooja lowered her eyes and answered honestly. She told him it belonged to her mother who passed away after illness. She explained how the melody helped her through lonely nights. As she spoke, Rohan felt the truth in her words. There was no greed in her voice, only quiet pain. He realized the box had traveled through loss before reaching him. The connection felt deeper than coincidence. He asked her why she sold it. Pooja hesitated but spoke about rent and hunger. She did not cry or ask for sympathy. She simply stated facts as if used to hardship. Rohan felt something tighten inside his chest. They walked to a small tea stall nearby. The chairs were old and the table uneven. Rohan sat there without care for appearance. He listened as Pooja spoke about her life and daily struggles. Her strength showed in her calm tone. Rohan shared parts of his own story. He told her about his mother and the village he left behind. He explained how the music box tune was tied to his happiest memories. His voice softened as he spoke. Pooja listened quietly and understood without words. The morning passed slowly as they talked. People came and went around them. The world continued its rush, unaware of the quiet moment forming between two strangers. Something gentle and real grew in that space. Rohan felt a sense of responsibility settle over him. He did not see Pooja as someone to save, but someone to support. He respected her dignity and wanted to honor the memory tied to the music box. He offered to help her continue her education and secure her living situation. He spoke clearly and without pressure. He said help should never take pride away. Pooja felt overwhelmed and unsure. She thought of her mother and the tune that guided her. After a long pause, she agreed to accept help. Tears filled her eyes but did not fall. She thanked him with a quiet voice. Before leaving, Rohan placed the music box back into her hands. He said it belonged with her because love should remain with those who carry it forward. Pooja held the box carefully and felt warmth return to her chest. As they parted, Rohan felt lighter than he had in years. The past no longer felt like a wound, but a lesson. Somewhere between loss and kindness he had found balance. That evening Rohan returned home and opened the windows wide. The city air felt different now. He knew the melody would play again, not only from the box but from the choices he would make next. The days that followed felt different for both of them. Pooja returned to her small room with the music box held close to her heart. The room still had cracks in the walls and noise from trains, but something inside her felt lighter. For the first time since her mother passed away, she felt seen and understood. Each morning she opened the music box for a short moment before leaving for work. The melody no longer felt like pain alone. It carried strength and memory together. She felt her mother near whenever the tune played. Rohan kept his promise quietly without making it public. He arranged for Pooja to return to school near her area. He made sure her rent was settled and that she would not face fear at night. He did all this without asking for gratitude. Pooja struggled at first to accept help. She worried about losing her independence. But Rohan treated her with respect and patience. He spoke to her like an equal and never made her feel small. School reopened a part of Pooja that had been asleep. She sat in class with borrowed books and careful hope. Learning made her feel alive again. Music class became her favorite place. Her teacher noticed her deep connection with sound. Pooja learned quickly and practiced daily. She played simple tunes and slowly improved. The melody from the music box guided her fingers and heart. Rohan visited the school once without announcing himself. He stood quietly at the back of the room while Pooja practiced. He watched her focus and dedication. Pride filled him without reason or expectation. Seeing Pooja grow brought peace to Rohan. He began to revisit memories he once avoided. He spoke about his mother more often and allowed himself to feel again. His work still mattered, but it no longer controlled him. Rohan started a small cultural center near the market area. It was a place for music learning and quiet growth. He named it after his mother without telling anyone why. Pooja became one of the first students there. At the center, Pooja met others like her who carried dreams with hardship. She shared her story slowly and learned from others. The space felt safe and full of possibility. One evening after practice, Pooja stayed behind and played the music box melody on a small keyboard. The notes filled the empty room with warmth. Rohan listened from the doorway with moist eyes. The tune sounded different now. It carried hope instead of sorrow. It felt like a bridge between past and present. Rohan realized healing did not erase pain but reshaped it. Pooja noticed him standing there and stopped playing. She felt shy but smiled. Rohan thanked her for the music and told her she was doing well. His words mattered deeply to her. Their bond grew quietly without force. It was built on shared memory and mutual respect. Neither tried to replace what was lost. They honored it by moving forward. The music box remained with Pooja always. She treated it as a guide rather than a treasure. She knew its value came from love, not wood. As months passed, Pooja performed at small events at the center. People listened and smiled. Music connected strangers gently. Pooja felt purpose growing inside her. Rohan watched these moments from a distance. Each performance healed him further. He understood that giving without control brought real fulfillment. One night after a small concert, Pooja thanked Rohan for believing in her. Her voice carried sincerity and strength. Rohan replied that belief often returns when shared. The city continued its rush outside. But inside that small center, time moved differently. It carried care and understanding. The melody that once brought tears now brought light. It reminded them both that loss can guide kindness forward. And in that shared journey both lives found new meaning. Time moved forward quietly and steadily for both Pooja and Rohan. The cultural center became a place filled with soft sounds and hopeful faces. Every day children and young adults walked in carrying dreams shaped by struggle. Music slowly turned those struggles into strength. Pooja grew more confident with each passing week. Her hands moved smoothly across instruments and her ears caught details others missed. Teachers noticed her progress and encouraged her to guide younger students. She did so with patience learned from hardship. The music box stayed in her bag wherever she went. She no longer opened it only in sadness. She opened it to remember how far she had come. The melody became a reminder of survival and love. Rohan visited the center often, though he never stood in the spotlight. He preferred to sit quietly at the back and watch growth unfold. Seeing others benefit from something born of memory brought him deep peace. His life outside work changed as well. He spent less time chasing numbers and more time listening to people. His staff noticed the shift but did not question it. He carried calm where pressure once lived. One evening the center organized a small gathering. Families from the area filled the room with soft chatter. Pooja was asked to perform a short piece. She felt nervous but ready. She walked to the front and sat near the piano. The room grew quiet as she began to play. The tune was familiar yet transformed. It was the melody from the music box shaped by growth and courage. Rohan closed his eyes as the notes filled the air. Tears formed but did not fall. His heart felt full instead of heavy. He felt his mother near, not in sorrow but in pride. The audience listened in silence and then responded with warm applause. Pooja stood and bowed with a gentle smile. She felt strong and grounded. For the first time she felt her future open clearly. After the performance, Rohan spoke to the group. He shared a simple message about kindness and memory. He did not mention wealth or success. His words came from truth. Later that night, Pooja sat alone at the center. She opened the music box and let the tune play softly. She whispered thanks to her mother and to life itself. The sound felt like closure and beginning together. Rohan watched the city from his window that night. The lights no longer felt empty. They felt connected to stories and lives. He knew true richness came from shared healing. Months passed and the center expanded. More teachers joined and more students learned. Pooja became a symbol of quiet hope in the community. People respected her journey. Rohan supported the center without control. He trusted the process and the people. His past no longer held him still. It guided him gently forward. One afternoon Rohan returned the music box to Pooja once more after a small repair. He said it deserved care as much as the people it touched. Pooja smiled and promised to protect it. The box had traveled through loss and love. It connected two lives that once walked alone. It proved that small things can carry great meaning. In a city full of noise, a simple melody changed paths. It turned pain into purpose and memory into kindness. And through that journey both Pooja and Rohan found peace that no wealth could buy.